I made over $26,000 just trading this one stock, JETS. I'm going to show you how I did it right now. If you come over to my screen here and take a look at JETS. So JETS is an ETF of the major airlines. So you have in there United Airlines, Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, and the list goes on. And the unique thing about this is that we don't have to worry about earnings. That's why I like trading ETFs, but specifically this ETF, because you get the volatility. Think about what's been going on in the airlines for the last several years. We've had a lot of ups and downs. People are going back to flying. People are not flying. Prices crazy. People are not traveling due to high prices. It's just all of this up and down. It gives you a really good opportunity. Plus, you don't have to worry about the earnings dates, which I absolutely love. So let's look at JETS, what I did here. The first thing that stuck out to me about JETS was actually, I got in this long time ago with a tracker share. Let me explain what a tracker share is real quick. If you look right over here on my screen, I have a couple of stocks here, but if you come over here and look at this, it's a lot of stocks. It's a lot of things moving, a lot of green, red, ticking back and forth. It's easy to lose something in here. And by lose, I mean, okay, let's say I want to buy Google at some point. Well, let's say that the trend develops on Google. All of a sudden, it's all the way up here in the sweet spot. I missed 15% of the trade. Well, that would be bad, right? But what I can do, and what I did with something like JETS, if I go over to my list, I not only had it on my watch list, but I bought one single share. Now you might say, well, one share, I'm not going to make a lot of return on one share. The idea is not to make the return. The idea is that it's in your brokerage account. You see it every single day. And let's look at this and say, worst case scenario for JETS. JETS ETF disappears. Actually, let's go to the extreme. Every major airline in the United States goes away. Therefore, the JETS ETF goes away. What's the worst case scenario for me? Well, we have a lot of problems in the world if that happens. But worst case scenario for me personally is, let's say I bought it right here. I lose 20 bucks. JETS goes away. It goes to zero. I lose 20 bucks. Best case scenario is exactly what happened. So I actually sold short on one share somewhere in here around $20. And you can see what happened. It just kept going and going and going. And if you really think about it, look, that was a massive percent gain that it went on. But what happened? I lost like $7 because I shorted it for one share at 20. It went up to about 27, 28. I lost $7, $8 a share. But what happened when it started to come back down? I was able to capitalize big time. Why? Because I saw the trend developing and I was literally one of the first people that got into this thing short. So where was my entry point? That is the question. I actually was able to enter, we just zoom this out, right in here. This was back in March, around $24 a share. And why did I enter there? Well, a couple of things. Number one, the trend was just starting to drop into the sweet spot. Red moved into the sweet spot, yellow moved into the sweet spot. I firmly believe that I would not have seen this had I not had a tracker share for some time. And I would log in my brokerage account and go, oh yeah, I still have JETS. Let me see what's going on there. And I was one of the first people into this. And why did I pick that number? If you just draw this straight line across, that was a really strong support level right there. And I wanted to say, once it broke that support level, I was in. Now, the next day, it looked great because it dropped big time, and then we were just kind of off to the races. Things were going down. As the trend moves down, the stock price moves down. Now, some of you new people, you're probably looking at this and saying, okay, well, you pretty much gave back half of your profits right here, right? Because I entered here, went down, rebounded back about half. Look at that, it's about half. Why did I not exit there? Well, the trend tells me everything in this situation, the trend and the volume. The volume, I was getting very light volume, very light buying volume. I would have wanted to see green bars up in here for multiple days in a row. Wasn't getting that. It was just people taking profits. Number two, look where the trend was. It just kept telling me. It was actually getting wider. Look at this separation here is more narrow than here. It just keeps getting wider and wider. And what happened when it gets wider on the stochastic? It means it gets better. This is where the majority of people do not understand trading. This is nothing but a snapback. The trend was telling me to stay in the stock. The volume was telling me to stay in the stock. I knew that this was going to break back down. If this is something that you struggle with, or it's something you're hearing for the first time, there's a PDF in the link in the description below. Click it, download it, print it out, put it on your desk. It is a fantastic tool for not only the new people, but for the people that have been around for quite some time. It's just a good daily reminder and something to review constantly on volume and trends. So go check that out. It's in the link in the description below. But I knew to stay in this. And look, after the snapback happened, I wasn't worried. It absolutely plummeted. And look what the trend did. It just kept going lower and lower and lower. And as it went lower, what happened? People got conviction that it was going to go lower. And what did they do? Let's look at the volume over here. The volume started to pick up and there were more sellers coming into the stock. This is what happens. Momentum goes a certain way depending on where the stochastic is sending you. And that is exactly what happened in JETS. So the question becomes, where was your exit point? Well, I actually got kind of lucky, and I've said this in a previous video that we did on, maybe it was Lululemon. This was all because of what was happening in the market with tariffs and whatnot. And I actually exited all of my stocks on this Tuesday, April 8th. Why did I do that? Because I had a feeling that some type of pause was coming on tariffs. Now, I thought it was going to be on Friday, the 11th, right here. That wasn't the case. Turned out it was on Wednesday. Markets rebounded. I got lucky that I ended up selling right down in here. I just had a feeling. And not only the feeling, look where my stochastic was. It was on the bottom here. It was on the bottom. Trade kind of looked over. Plus the news, I was worried about that. If you go and look at any of these trades, SkyWest, look, we were on the bottom down here. CCL on the bottom down here. Lululemon on the bottom down here. That's what I was kind of basing it off of and saying, okay, there's something that's probably going to happen down here. It's going to hit this bottom. It's going to run up. It's going to start consolidating sideways. And that's exactly what's happening. So my next play on this is going to be to go long. I'm looking to go long on this. I don't know when that's going to be, but it's going to happen at some point. But the major takeaway that I want everybody to realize on this is that when you have a stock that is coming down, and you get any type of big rebound like this, do not just exit because the price is going against you. Do not just exit because you think you're giving away half of your money. You're giving it back. Trust the trend. If you trust the trend, 8, 9 times out of 10, it's going to work on your side and it's just going to keep going lower and lower, especially if that volume is pushing it in the direction that you want it to go. Now, this is just one trade. It's one very narrow example of trend and volume, but there's a lot more that goes into trading. I made this comprehensive course, multiple hours. It's chaptered. You can go back to it over and over again. It tells you everything you need to know about trading and how to become a successful trader. Go check it out. You need to watch this next.